everyone, I'm Marichal with Family First Life Solidity. Welcome to Solidity, the podcast, and I'm here with two very special guests today, two Hall of Fame producers. I have Frederick Marichal and Rami Hamady here with me today. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for the invitation. Pleasure's all mine. Appreciate you guys.
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Super excited to be here with both of you. And before we get started, let me just clout on the both of you a little bit. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first full year working with Family First Life for the both of you, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And you both protected more than 400 families, correct?
Amen.
Okay.
Very few months.
That's true, man.
Love it. And Freddie, how many families have you protected? So we're in November now. What are you at year to date?
I'll probably say around 460, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I checked. So.
Awesome. And Rami, what about yourself?
I'm around like 427 right now, I believe. 427 to 430.
427, okay, awesome. I love it. And Freddie, what were you doing prior to actually joining the insurance industry?
Yeah, so I had some type of sales experience. I'm coming from the financial industry, banking industry. So, and before that I was doing customer service for probably quite some time. Different retail stores. So I had some experience. I had no experience with life insurance and annuities and nothing like that. So obviously it was new to me, and obviously buying leads and going out there and actually seeing families in their own home. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit different story. So I was more used to kind of wearing a suit, being in the bank, and helping those families with whatever we had there to offer. So
I love that. And what made you decide to join the insurance industry?
Well, it's just the financial freedom, right? After me being in a while the financial field and banking, I realized I was well, there's actually a cap here. I need to go in a field where I can fully maximize what I'm worth. And that's when I found out about Family First Life. And the crazy thing about it, I've been looking into insurance for a long time.
Okay.
But the reason why I joined other companies is because I needed to build my book of business. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that and I'm seeing, I have a comfortable job now, why would I do that? I just felt it was going to be very difficult for me to get started and actually get going. And I'm not afraid of working, but I'm looking for the right system, and I found it here in Family First Life. So that's the reason why I made the decision.
I love that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like leads were definitely really important to you in joining Family First Life.
Yeah, I think it was the biggest thing that, kind of was I gotta do this now because I'm able to build my book of business, help friends and families, but not depend on friends and families.
Right.
So that was my biggest thing.
Right, I love that. And when I first started in the industry, I was with a captive agency. And they called them leads, but really they were just a bait and switch. And after being with that company for about 6 months or so, I was mentally exhausted because it's I would be making appointments with folks and they would have no idea I was coming to show them life insurance options. So when I saw a lead, I literally left that day. I didn't know leads existed in the insurance space. So leads were a selling factor for me too, as far as joining an IMO and whatnot. So I definitely understand where you're coming from in that aspect. Leads are huge. And Rami, prior to joining the insurance industry, what were you doing?
Okay, so prior to joining the insurance industry, as you know, Christina, I was in the medical field and pursuing to become a medical director or a doctor and working as an exercise physiologist in the hospital full time. And what really drew me to Family First Life is, first, of course, Freddie mentioned, is the financial freedom. It's the ability that we can do what we want when we want. At the same time, we can build a life of our own and look to lay down the future lens to see what we're going to be 3-4 years from now. But in addition to that, it really was more about the teamwork and team dynamic and helping people. In the hospital, I'm currently helping people. I would always develop different deep treatment plans, diagnoses, things of that nature. But here, I can still help a family, but financially. Instead of me having to go there and tell you, hey, you know what, you have to change your way of lifestyle, change your way of eating, the whole nine, not listen to me, come back 10 times in a row. And I look at you guys, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Is it me? But no, this way I know if I leave the home, I can protect that family financially, and no matter what I do, I can put my head at night and sleep better. So that's really what drew me in here. I'm still protecting, just not on the health side, more financially.
I love that. Yeah, you're definitely still protecting families for sure. And attitude and activity is such a huge part of this business, right?
Of course.
Protecting over 400 families in your first full year in insurance, we're not even through the full year, attitude and activity has to be huge for the two of you. What does activity look like on a weekly basis for you guys? Freddie, what does your schedule look like? What is dial day, appointment count, all that stuff? What does that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, if we take it back, I like to, like I said, peel back the onion, right? The biggest thing is obviously buying enough leads, right? Before we go into dial day. But when it comes to dial day, you have to be willing to go into battle. I say that all the time because, some dial days are going to be smooth and easy, and other ones are going to be difficult, right? And, when I'm starting my dial day, I'm always looking forward for the battle. So no matter what, I'm going to be ready for it.
Right.
So obviously, with the activity, it just comes out, starting at 8, right, and finishing until all your until all your appointments are done. I mean, for me, I said where I want 20 appointments.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I'm not done. So I'm going from 8 to 8. Just because I just know that no matter if I get porch or no show, I have enough appointments and enough families to see in order to protect the ultimate goal, right? I want to protect the most families I can, possibly. That's how it looks like for me for dial day.
I love that. So each dial day, you're setting at least 20 appointments, and then each week you're setting minimally 40 appointments.
Minimum. You got it.
All right, you guys heard it. Hall of Fame producer, Freddie right here. 40 appointments a week. That's the formula. And Rami, what does that kind of look like for you?
So in the same sense, you always want to make sure, as you said, you want to prepare. So you want to make sure the day before your dial day, you have everything set, you have everything organized. You're in the field, or you're actually on dial day, you're dialing. You want to make sure that you're actually allocating your time appropriately. You don't want to focus on things that you shouldn't be focusing on, because if I know that if I'm dialing and I'm not truly focused, I'm not going to book a full schedule. I don't have a full schedule, I'm not going to be able to help as many families as I can. It's not just about me and me actually being able to provide for my family, but if I don't see those families to protect them, what if they do die? What if they do get sick? Then it's on me then at the same time. So when I see that lead card, I know that's a family who looked and needed help. At the same time, I have to keep that in the back of my mind at times that, you know what, I'm here to dial, I'm here to make sure I'm here to protect families, and that's what it looks like. Just like he said, just kind of keep pushing until you get your goal or your appointment count. And if you don't, it's okay. Just make sure the very next day when you're in the field, you do those income producing activities, whether it be dialing in between appointments, door knocking, and so forth. You just want to really make sure you're staying active, like you said, attitude and activity. Have a really good attitude throughout the day. If you kick in the face, it's okay. And make sure that you're staying active. You keep dialing those leads, and the next day you can go and help those families.
I love that. I love that. And Freddie, we were at a training a few months back, and you said something that really stuck with me. You said, in between every appointment, you do a door knock. It doesn't matter how late you are.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that, how has that allowed you to scale your business? What has that done for you? Why is that so important?
Well, it came down to a couple of things. I just noticed that most families I went to door knock, they weren't ready that moment to sit down and for me to help them. So I figured if I do one at least in between appointments, I can either set it for later this evening, I can set it for tomorrow or my next dial day.
Right.
So I just feel like it just put me ahead of my schedule in regards to helping families. And I just started implementing things and trying things, and sooner or later I kind of figure out a system to be successful. And honestly, it all comes down to activity. Anybody can go out there, because most of the families that we see, they're already interested on life insurance.
Right.
We just have to show up. And they might probably didn't misunderstood you over the phone, but the moment you show up and you show them the form, you show them that you're there to help them, it's a whole different story. So don't take it personal. Focus on just the activity itself, and then at the end of the day, everything else will take care of itself. They're looking for the help.
I love that. And how much of the business that you're writing on average do you think comes from doing those door knocks?
I'll say 20%. For me, it's 20%.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
And when you're writing at such a high level, that's a lot of families.
That's a lot. Everyone says it's a big number.
Yeah.
It's a big number,
Yeah.
man. It is, yeah. And honestly, for me, sometimes, most of the time, it's just they probably misunderstood me over the phone. And then I show up and they're like, oh yeah, there was a guy who called me. I'll say, yeah, that's just the office guy. I'm the one who's gonna help you out with that. Like, okay, yeah, come in. So and then you're able to set up the appointment. They can see your face. They can see you're a human being. Like a telemarketer. And it's a whole different story. Once you show them the form, and they were the one who filled it out. So
right, and they can see that you're actually a person.
Yeah, and then you're local. That's another thing. You want to mention whenever you're talking, speaking over the phone, you want to mention you're the local guy. You want to give descriptions too. I say, oh, you're the building near the Madonna's. Okay, yes, I've been there before. And they can get it. Oh yeah, so he knows where I'm located. Compared to you say, oh, it's 46 Brookline Street, whatever. So obviously adding little things nearby adds more value because they can actually tell you've been there before.
100%. 100%. Yeah, you're the local field underwriter. I love that. I love that. And you both mentioned how important leads are to you and your success here with Family First Life. Like, Rami, what does your lead flow look like? Like on a dial day, how many leads do you have for dial day? What are you spending? What does that kind of look like for you?
Yeah, so throughout me coming into this business, of course, that changes and evolves over time.
Right.
So I kind of start from the beginning when I first started, what that looked like, and then kind of go into it now. So when I first started, you want to make sure that you truly invest in leads, guys. As we all know, we have to really invest in leads to believe in ourselves because it's like we're a store. We own our own business, so at the same time, if I go to the gas station and only buy a bottle of water and I see one bottle of water on the shelf, I'm probably not going to go back there again. I'm probably going to say, hey, you know what, that store is not a serious store. Same thing, if I don't buy leads, I'm not investing in myself, I don't take this seriously, it's not a serious job to me. At the same time, we have to stack deck in your favor, which means to me, buying as many leads as possible, even if that means going negative in your bank account. Because at the same time, it's okay to go -5 in order to go +10. So people really don't understand that concept too well, but they really have to understand that it is okay to kind of, take a step back a little bit if you're going to go 10 steps forward. So I always keep that in mind. So throughout the business, I'll mix everything. I'll buy internet leads, I'll get an email with the CRM. 90% of my business, even to this day, is ILC. So at the Integrity Lead Center. Of course, I have some mail jobs going on, so I'm outside on third-party vendors, but primarily it's all the ILC because there's only so much data, guys. There's only going to be so much information out there that everyone can get these kind of leads and get these newer leads. So primarily I'm running ILC would be a mix of internet leads, final accounts mailer, and mortgage mailers at this point in time. And I like to have basically for a number, I like to have 100 brand new leads for each dial day, or at least $500 to $1,000 lead spend every single dial day. So that means on Sunday, I'm going to buy the 500 to 1,000 for Monday, same thing Wednesday for Thursday, because I know it's a numbers game. Math is math. So as long as I stack deck in my favor, and if I have 500 at bats, and Freddie has 200 at bats, who has the higher chance of hitting the home run or having a better average? The person that has the most at bats.
Right.
Amen.
So that's what that looks like for me currently.
And I know more recently, you've been using the instant internet leads with beneficiary, and you've been having crazy results with those. So how have internet leads, I guess, just kind of transformed your business, like the instant internet leads with beneficiary, and just how has that allowed you to really take it to the next level?
Big time. No, it really has, because when you're doing mailers or you're doing other internet leads, you have to remember you have to keep up to date with the times. And then not everyone's going to fill out a piece of paper to send in. Car insurance, Netflix, even grocery shopping. People are going online, making an order and ordering it, and someone's coming to the house and delivering it. Same as with the instant internet leads. The instant internet leads with beneficiaries are really key because they're super simple, guys. You give them a call, they just recently filled it out, and they put the beneficiary's name on it. So I'm calling you and I'm saying, hey Christina, I'm calling about the form you just sent in regarding the state regular life insurance here in Massachusetts. You put Risa Maj as a beneficiary. You're not going to tell me no.
Right.
There's no way you're going to tell me no, I didn't do that.
That'd be weird.
That'd be weird, right? Exactly. They're your family, you want to protect them. So truly, it's helped change my business a lot because now I'm able to book a full schedule and see a lot more families on the days that I may not have a full lead order come in. Or on the CRM, there's only a limited supply of leads. Guys, there's an unlimited supply of internet leads. The internet's vast. It's a very big and vast area, so you can get as many leads as you can. The instant internet beneficiaries kind of is like more of a funnel. It kind of brings it down and filters out all like what I call the BS. People at the top, they're generalized, they go in. Once they put their name, information, beneficiary, you get the lead in the bottom. Take that lead, it's pure, that basically tying to that. Just give them a call, and you go help them. Like Christina said, it's really weird for someone to tell you, no, I didn't put my son or daughter's name there. It's like, yes, you did. You want to protect your family.
Right. And you said something else that I love. You said each dial day you want at least 100 new leads.
Yes.
But when you say that, you mean new to you, right? Like
Correct.
they can be age leads
Oh,
or
yeah.
just new leads that are new to Rami.
Yes, let me rephrase that. Yes, exactly.
Right.
So the whole point is I want to make sure that on dial day I don't read the name Frank Gallagher 17 times in a row. Because psychologically, I know Frank Gallagher's shameless, guys, but psychologically, when you do that, you're going to get beat up. You're going to say, all right, I'm seeing the same name over and over and over again. I'm calling the same person. However, when you get 100 new leads that are brand new to you, even if their age, you're seeing Bob, Risa, Freddie, Sarah, Sam, Brittany, you're looking at all these names, and all of a sudden, like, okay, these are newer leads. And then your brain automatically has no problem going through the process and dialing. But like you said, if they're not new to you, you may kind of get beat up. You may look at them and be like, hey, I'm done the same stack over and over again.
For 3 weeks now, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can always make sure they're new to you.
Right. Yeah. Lead flow is everything in this business. And Freddie, what does your lead strategy kind of look like?
That was amazing. I mean, good
Yeah,
job.
I appreciate that.
Good job. Yeah, so I'm kind of the same. I mean, I would say weekly for me, it's about $2,000 from leads. Right?
Okay.
A combination of mortgage, final expense, mailers, internet leads. I love the ones with the beneficiary as well. Whatever I can get my hands in, I like to do something between 80 and 100 because I really want to work the leads. right? And I want to be efficient with my time. But usually if I get, fresh leads to me, right, now like brand new, between 80 and 100, I'm usually able to book 20 appointments for the next, couple run days. And then maybe at worst case scenario, I book 15, and then in between that, I'm just door knocking those leads that I wasn't able to get a hold. So it's just honestly just the biggest thing is just having that constant investment, investing in yourself, never losing that belief that you can do it. I feel like we get to, we've probably gone through it, Rami, if we can be transparent. It's like you go through a situation and you're like, man, I've done this so many times. I probably don't have to buy that many of these. And you think you got this, man, like, oh man, I'm perfect now. And that's when you start going back.
Oh yeah.
But the moment you stay consistent with what got you to be successful,
right,
you continue growing, and then that whatever amount of families you would help in that month, you can multiply the next month, the next couple of months, just because you stay consistent with the system itself. So
100%. I love that because your skill set's only gonna get better. You're learning every day in each home, each dial day. And one other thing, I think that's been really beneficial for you, Rami, just because I know firsthand because I'm in the office with you, is plugging into an office. And you're plugged into an office as well, Freddie. How has plugging into an office allowed you essentially to scale your business, or what has that done for you? Mindset, like what does plugging into an office do for you?
Yeah, well, for me, I'm coming from Salem, Mass, and then I was driving to Connecticut for 2 hours, 2:15, depending. Mondays and Thursdays. And the reason why I wanted to plug in into other Hall of Fame producers.
Right.
Because in order for me to get there, I need to see what they do on a consistent basis, right? I need to see their work ethic, what leads them by, and having those conversations. Maybe, in between time, I can ask them questions on things I should implement in home, right? So that was for me. For me, it was just being able to be coachable and going there and putting myself in that position, right? So I can grow and develop faster than me at home or through Zoom. Second, I wanted to get uncomfortable. I knew that if I was taking that drive, there was no way possible I was going to drive another 2 hours back without being successful. I was going to do everything possible to be successful. And three, I just knew that by me doing those things like that, I knew just great things are going to come because I already made that sacrifice ahead of time. Just like you made that sacrifice to buy leads, you made that sacrifice to call and book the appointments, and you made that sacrifice to show up. I know when you make those little things like that, a little action, I know it pays out. Sooner or later, it's gonna pay out because you're doing the right thing. So I just wanted to set that up since the beginning because I know, my first month I helped about 15 families. Then the next month I multiplied to 30, and then from there, I've been consistently 30. It's because of that. The first month I plugged into no office, no Zoom. I was just doing it myself.
Okay.
And that was depressing. This is a lonely business.
Right. Yeah.
And the moment I plugged in, it was just life changing because you actually have other people you can talk to about the same thing. They can help you out through the process, and it's not such a lonely business anymore. You can actually grow and grow with all this, right? So
I love that. And Rami, how has plugging into an office, what has that done for you in your business?
So in the same aspect, so plugging into an office makes you work hard because it's weird if all of us are working in our offices and someone's not.
Right.
If I hear Freddie down, you down, you're sitting down, Sarah down, it's like, okay, I'm not down. It's a little bit weird. So that's one. Two, it makes you really focus on the priorities and what's important because it's easy to get distracted when you're not in the office, when you're at home. Because not just staying in the same zone, but it's to the extent where if you're at your house, it's very easy to say, I have 10 appointments, it's okay, I did my job today, no worries. When you're in the office, the same thing as working a W-2 job. I'm not, just like Freddie said, I'm not gonna leave here until I have my 15, 16 appointments, my 20 appointments. So it truly holds you accountable. Secondary, you're able to plug into all the trainings. I'm able to, if I need any help, I can walk right downstairs and ask any producer in the office, hey, hi guys, how do I do this? How do you handle this? How do I get this done? How does this contracting get done? I ask you probably every single day, how does this certain contracting get done? How do I do this? How to do that? So basically, that's what it allows me to do. It keeps me plugged in and it keeps me being a student of the game per se. It allows me to always be able to be coachable, like Freddie said, and always learn my own stuff at my own pace. And at the same time, you want to keep a team environment. You want to make sure that, like Freddie said, you don't feel alone. You want to make sure that you understand that in this business, you do have other people you can count on. And going to an office definitely makes you feel that way, and that's why I felt that way. I know for a fact that's one of the main reasons why I always come to the office because I know I have you, your sister, that I can count on. I know if I'm having a bad day, I can easily come downstairs, start talking to you guys, and you guys say, all right, Ron, let's go. Let's get back on track. Let's get your day going. Let me go right back on track. So I think going to an office is really extremely important, especially as a newer agent. Because a newer agent, it's really not just I'm not gonna talk a little fast. I'm gonna slow down. It's easy to get distracted when dialing, but it's even easier to get distracted and understand that there's a long-term goal to be at hand. That's not just about waking up every single day at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m., being on phones by 8, booking a full schedule. It's actually setting up the non-negotiables and routines and habits in your life that's going to transition and transform into other things through your life when you're raising a family or when you're, going through marriage or getting older. All these things truly play a factor. And if you can, at a younger age or in the beginning, adapt your mentality to kind of adopt that mindset and say, it's okay, I have to get these things done. It makes it easier to do the things that you don't want to do later on in life. And that's truly where an office has helped me tremendously.
Strong.
Yeah, I think just being disciplined in this business is literally everything.
It is.
And plugging into the proper environment and allowing you to have the proper mindset by plugging into that environment is just key.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
For sure. And you're both obviously doing this at a really high level, protecting over 40, 50 families a month. Freddie, how do you kind of set the proper expectation when you go in a home that, hey, we're doing this today?
Oof.
What are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, so I mean, very good question. Very good question. So I feel like in the in-home, it's all about like setting the table, just like you mentioned it, but just letting them know that you're the professional in there.
Right.
What I mean by that is like you have to assume everything. Like you have to go in there and like, this is what we're doing today. This is why I'm here. Who's gonna be the beneficiary? And ask questions in a sense of like, okay, if you were to qualify, which of these options make sense? Like in the sense of like, there's no thinking about it, nothing like that. So what I do in the beginning, I obviously introduce myself. I'm not too much of a talker, and people would think otherwise. Like, oh, you go in and just have fun. No, because I know myself. I did in the beginning, it didn't work out. So what I do, I'm like business focused, right, in the beginning. And what I do, I just go based on my inventory sheet and answer all those questions.
Okay.
Tell them I'm here. So my initial first question is, okay, most families fill this form because of 3 reasons. 1, they don't have any insurance, they need my help. 2, they have some insurance, but they're looking to strengthen their position. Or 3, they just recently experienced a death. Whatever the answer, great, I help them out. Then I go into the why, and I find out about the beneficiary, whether they live, if they're married, single, divorced, if they have any kids, what they do for a living, right? To make sure that I gotta think about it, because I feel like my daughter can actually take care of it. I don't want that to come back later, so I want to make sure that I can nip it now before later. And then after I do this, just asking basic questions about their health, right? And going over their budget, which is for most of the families we see, they're on a fixed income, which is the biggest concern. I mean, they don't even care what other questions you ask. They just want to make sure it's something that's sustainable. So you want to ask about the budget, because that way it can give you a preview of what you can offer.
Right.
Right? You don't want to break their bank. You don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So just find something within the budget. And then after that, just tell them, listen, at the end of the day, there's nothing for us to think about, right? Number 1, we're going to get you pre-qualified. They're going to let them know which carrier they recommend best. 2, I'll go over the option and tell you the prices. And then 3, we'll submit an application for coverage. I mean, before you can purchase insurance, you do have to qualify. Like, it's not as simple as us going to Market Basket and buying milk. Okay? And they're like, oh, yeah.
I love that.
And then from there, I go through the process, find something comfortable, and just kind of submit the application for coverage. And before I leave, I take a picture, leave them with all my business information. I add their contact information in my phone. That way, when they call me back, I know who it is, right? That way, I'm like, hello? Is it Nancy? No, that Nancy's married. Oh, you already messed up there, right?
Yeah.
I don't want that, right? So I make sure I add it on my phone, and then I tell them, listen, I'm your guy moving forward. You're stuck with me. Even if you like it or not, I mean, you are stuck with me. And they just laugh. Give them a hug, and I just move into my next family. But basically, I want to keep it very simple. Not a sales guy, just like here to help you out. Throughout the conversation, I tell them, like, if they're older, listen, I'm gonna treat you like if you're my own dad or mom. With respect, honesty, very transparent. Like, I just want to help you out. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't make sense, like, I'll move into my next family. But at least I did my job.
Right.
And they appreciate that.
I love that. And you're very assumptive.
Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah. Very assumptive. And it sounds like you really, you lock down your appointment before you leave too. Like, you let them know, hey, I'm your guy. Any questions, call me. Any family has any questions, feel free to reach out. And I love that you take a photo with all your families, because I do the same thing, but I know Freddie does too, because I'm always liking his stories on Facebook and whatnot too. Yeah. And that's huge, because you send it to the family. You tell them to save it, and it's like they're never gonna forget you. You know what I
person
mean?
the other day, like, all right, he's no reply.
Yeah.
I came in, like, actually, I connected with him. Come back over for Christmas. Come over for Thanksgiving.
Anytime. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think, Rami, like, just knowing you on a personal level, I think one of the reasons that you've really seen success with FFL so quickly is because when you came in, you weren't confused that this was a business and that it was your business. So recently, congratulations. Rami has his own agency now, Family First Life Financial Society. I love the logo. I love your team. I'm just super excited to see where you're all at, even in just the next few coming months. But Rami, how essentially, or why, when you came in, was it so important from day one to just start operating this like a business and building a business ultimately? Why was that important to you? And what are some of the things that you did from day one to ultimately build your agency from the beginning?
Of course. So what brought my attention to it was in the beginning, after I've known you for quite a long time now, for over 15 years, let's say. And over time, I asked you, I was like, what are you guys doing? Because we own our own insurance agency, like that's what we're doing. So I understood it, but I didn't at the same time in the beginning. So I started to dig a little bit more Instagram, looking at research, Facebook, the whole nine. And I truly understood that, no, like you are owning your business day one. So I knew that if I was going to get involved, I had to take it very serious from the beginning, because you have to understand that you have to set the foundation down so you can build a house. Because when you build a house on a solid foundation, it doesn't matter if any natural disaster comes through, a fire, tornado, flood, it's going to survive. And I understood that the same thing with business. If I came in, I took it serious, I laid the proper foundation, I followed the blueprint that was given to me, that I knew it was going to end up succeeding. So I had to come in here and I say, Rami, no messing around. Like, this is a way to actually have a good financial vehicle. You know, don't have to go through medical school, don't have to go through all these loans, don't have to worry about family in Lebanon. You can truly just come in here and start strong. So that was one of the main reasons why I came in and took it just like a business. And again, seeing you and your sisters, seeing how you guys took it, how serious you guys took it, how everyone at FFL, how serious they take it. People don't come in here and build a business just for fun. They don't want to come in here and say, oh, I want to own my own insurance agency and have all the headaches and dealing with everything that comes with it. They're like, no. At the end of the day, they understand that, hey, if you want to do this, it's serious. Like, you want to come in here, you want to do it right. So that's what I learned. I learned that, hey, if you're going to come in, do it right. So first I understood that I have to have the proper onboarding process. So I'm not going to make one up. You have to find one that does. Lucky enough, I was lucky to have you guys be able to say, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you're supposed to do it. This is how it's supposed to get done. This is what it looks like. So I took that, I implemented it into my organization, into my team. And you guys told me to get staff from me. Like, the minute you're capable, get staff. Mm-hmm. So I went and I got staff. So basically, what made me so serious with you guys honestly helped me. I'll be very direct about that. You guys seriously made me understand that this is a business and that I can do it. But you guys really instilled the belief that anyone can do it, but if you do it the right way, it's going to work. And that's truly why I kind of came in and took it so serious. And I came from a background in business. Like, I understood that in the day. Because my father, like, he's run so many businesses, as you know.
Right.
Freddie Man, my dad, he's an entrepreneur. He does a lot of things.
God bless you, man.
God bless him. Trust me, a lot of stress. But at the end of the day, I saw that, and I knew that I never wanted to work with someone ever. So I always understood that, exactly, you can be your own independent boss, and there's no vehicle outside FFL that I've seen here in the United States that we can do what we do. That we can work our own schedule, make what we make, help the families want to help, right, and scale this to an ability that we don't have to work in a day in our life in 10 years. If that's not the right way. We have to still work, but we don't have to work like most people do. Like, really sweat and grind and truly like break our backs to work. We do it now for a couple of years, but then after that, it's set. And that's truly what attracted me to this position.
I love that. And I think it's only like, because you understand the importance of it and have that mindset, your business is just going to continue to scale at a really high level and fast, right?
I appreciate it. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Amen.
I couldn't do without you guys.
And one last question, guys. Freddie, how has your life transformed since working with Family First Life? I know there's probably been a lot of differences between then and now, but what are some of the biggest differences?
No, ultimately, to be honest, just being able to enjoy your time. I think it's the biggest thing. Like, and I don't mean like I take a lot of days off. What I mean is that, you're able to work at your own pace and at your own time, but also being there for family. Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing, because like my mom has Parkinson's, and God forbid anything happens to her, right? I want to make sure that I'm available for her at all times. And this business allows me that, right? It allows me the freedom where, I can work whenever she doesn't need me. And the moment she does need me, I'm able to be available and maybe, reschedule an appointment and be present. But now they got the financial freedom and being able to give back to others. Like, it's massive. I mean, even a year ago, probably longer than that, if a homeless guy asked me for any type of money or food, I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm struggling right with you, man. Like, we're barely making it, right? And at this point, I'm not saying like, I'm a millionaire, but I have enough funds where I can give back to others, especially those who need it, right? And also just the how I love how I'm building my foundation, like you mentioned, for my future family, like for the family that I'm gonna build sooner or later, right? So just having that and having the freedom, the financial freedom, and being able to actually help others as well. Because when we walk into those homes, we're not only helping them with like just life insurance, we actually eliminated a huge financial burden for that other family member, massive. And they could be in a really great, financial situation at this point, but you don't know 10 years later how they're gonna be, or 5 years later, or a couple months later, what the financial situation is gonna be. So being able to give back, and I did have a recent death claim, and that was crazy because literally I helped a lady out a month prior, right? She even tried to poach me twice.
Wow.
And then I pushed myself in there. I helped her out, and then a month and a half later, the daughter's calling me in regards to I saw the business card, I saw the policy, wanted to call you, so you can help me out with this. And even on the phone, I'm looking at the policy, oh my God, I just helped her. I remember. She was down the street from me. I helped her a month ago. She's like, yeah, surprising. And she looked super healthy, and she was funny and outgoing. And look at that. We never know, right? God forbid. But being able to be there for that family was massive. And, I'm just thankful that I'm able to give back in many ways, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think when we have our first death claim, that's when the importance of what we do becomes real. It makes it really real. We know how important what we do is, but when that happens and we help that family and we talk to the beneficiary, it makes it real to us.
True.
100%. Yeah.
And Rami, what do you think Family First Life has attributed to, working with Family First Life has attributed to in your life? How does your life look different?
Yeah, so it's changed my life tremendously. One, I don't have to go to the hospital anymore.
Right.
Yeah, honestly.
Love it.
That's one. Two, I can just like Frederick, I provide for my family and other families. Three, I have my own freedom. If I want to take a day off, I can take a day off. Doesn't mean we do, but we're allowed to. If we wanted to, we can literally work our tails off Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, and then help 30, 40 families if we like to in those 2-3 weeks, and then we can take that last week off if we really wanted to. That's not attractive. In addition, it's like Freddie said, it's more building the future. It's kind of looking forward, and that's what really Family First Life has done for me. It's allowed me to truly really look at the future and truly understand what path I need to go down and how I need to do it. And that's what Family First Life really has. Of course, financially, of course.
Of course.
Everyone has to say financially, but yes, definitely. Hence the name Financial Society.
I love it. And Rami, if someone's interested in joining Family First Life and working with you, what is the best way to reach you?
So they can reach me on Instagram on FFL Financial Society, or they can go on Instagram or Facebook and look Rami Hamady up and just message me, DM me, and then I'll get back to you there.
And what about you, Freddie? If someone's interested in working with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. First one is Marichal 12. I'll spell that out for you guys. It will be MARICHAL 12. That will be on Instagram, and then FFL East Coast. You can follow me and my partner as well, John Murphy. We build this business together, so definitely.
I love it. Thanks for being on with me today, guys. I can't wait to see what the future holds for both of you. And it's been a pleasure having you both on today.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you for the opportunity. God bless you all.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for joining us today on SolidiTEA. I'll see you next time.